Hi, this is Jim Trippon, editor of China Stock Digest, with our second video tutorial. Today's topic is basic stock market concepts. What are basic stock market concepts? Well, that term can be confusing, but for our purposes, it's going to be the methods under which you would invest. Now, whether you're working with an online broker or a personal broker, one of the first things that they'll want to know about you is what is your knowledge about investing. And don't make the mistake of not being honest or not being thorough about your experience. The goal here is not only to understand that you want to make money, but how much risk you can afford to take in attempting to do so. And in order to do that, we must define your basic knowledge of the stock market. Now, there are four main approaches to investing in the stock market, and sometimes some people refer to these as your risk tolerance. The four approaches are aggressive growth investing, income investing, and capital preservation investing. And every person is unique in what they need and desire. So the combination of how soon you need to access the money or how much risk you're willing to take really defines where you stand with regard to these basic concepts. Let's look at each one of these approaches a little more closely. First, we're going to look at aggressive growth investing. And that's for people who are planning to use this approach. Get ready for a wild ride, because aggressive growth is exactly what it sounds like. Rapid growth with a high level of investment risk. These are typically stocks that are considered more lucrative, but they're also the most risky. They can be very volatile. And if you fit yourself into investing in this category, you're investing in things that would tend to be risky, but you're willing to take that risk in the hopes of a significant payout. The targeted rate of annual investment return for an aggressive investor is usually very high, but you're taking on a lot of risk of losing your original principal. Next, let's look at a growth investor. And that's a step down from aggressive growth, and this category is a good option for those who want to gain significantly but want to also do some things to preserve their initial investment. Those that have a decent amount of time to leave their investment in the market are going to see better growth here, but there will be some difficulties throughout that course of time. Your rate of return as an expected growth investor is typically on par with the stock market indexes as a whole. Next, let's look at income investing. If you want to see your income from your stocks rather than primarily capital appreciation, then this is the concept that's more appropriate for you. And even more conservative than growth, this category will have less risk than growth or aggressive growth, but will allow you to have some growth in your portfolio as well as income. And the last category for approaches is capital preservation. If you don't have a lot of time to wait for the stock market to go through its cycles and you want to have some return on your investment, you need to keep your principal safe. Well, that's a capital preservation approach. And for example, if you're planning on retiring in the next 5 years, you can use this approach, would give you some profit, but at a much lower level of risk. It typically preserves your investment better in the short term. However, of course, the other side of that is it's not going to allow much for capital appreciation. Choosing from these basic stock market approaches can be difficult for anybody, especially somebody starting off. So therefore, you should use the help of your broker or other financial educational resources in order to get a better idea of where you stand and what's appropriate for you. If you're serious about earning profits from the stock market, continue to watch this video series. We'll continue to dive deeper into the philosophy of investing as well as risks involved, and I promise that it will be time well spent. This is Jim Trippon with China Stock Digest.